メロディーは音と曲が作るブレスのできない歌は誰も
Oh my god, I told myself that I was gonna record the minute I got off work. I took a nap, this little nap. It's 8 o'clock. I got off at 2 today. But, being that as it may, I wanted to do this video because we haven't done anything about Monster Rancher in a while. And I know everybody wanted me to do about a freaking Dragon Ball R&R. I'm going to get to that, alright? I'm going to get to that. My friend sent me this as well. His name is Levante, so shout out to you. Levante sent this to me. And we're gonna look at it. This is about Monster Rancher was reared by Billiam. Let's have a look at this.
When discussing Pokemon clones, there's a hierarchy to the whole situation. At the top, you have Pokemon, naturally, and then there's Digimon because of its namesake. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has a big fat question mark on it. It's certainly not a clone, but its popularity in the West is probably intertwined with Pokemon's. Metabots is fun, Beyblade is radical, and all the way at the bottom you'll reach the floor. And if there's enough water damage, the floor will cave in, and in the messy, wet debris, you may find Monster Rancher. I actually enjoyed looking at Monster Rancher quite a bit. But out of the whole Pokemon-associated group, it's easily the most forgotten. The only time I ever hear it brought up are when people are talking about Pokemon clones. And it's always an afterthought. On a shallow level, a lot of these series have a surface-level appeal. If Pokemon were to just die one day, you know Nintendo could still sell Pikachu merchandise. Same goes for Digimon and Bandai. But no one's running out to buy Suezo merchandise. I mean, Mike Wazowski has a monopoly on that whole market. Also, I hate that I've made this connection, and I hate myself even more for this.
Oh, why?
Monster Rancher,
why would you do that?
Monster Farm in Japan, didn't really differentiate itself through its character design, gameplay, anime, or story. Instead, it differentiated itself through a gimmick. The concept of Monster Rancher surrounds mystery discs. A mystery disc has a monster inside of it which can be raised to fight and whatnot. Now, while you can get mystery discs into the game, the real discs are the CDs you own. Yes, you, the player. Going into the shrine in all of these games allows you to take the Monster Rancher disc outside of the PlayStation console and place in any CD you own, which will give you a semi-unique monster. However, some of these designs are less like Pokemon and more like No Man's Sky. It definitely feels like some of these designs are automated. With later installments in the series, DVDs could be used, and some movies or CDs had exclusive monsters inside of them, like Harry Potter in the Chamber of Secrets. I keep wanting to call the monsters in Monster Rancher Monster Ranchers, but they're just called monsters. You are, in fact, the Monster Rancher. Well, I think Monster Rancher 2 is considered to be the fan favorite. I got Monster Rancher 1 because I'm a moron who didn't bother to do his research. Monster Rancher for the PlayStation 1 is more like Tamagotchi in Digimon than it is like Pokemon. While Pokemon is more like a traditional JRPG with a collectible party, Monster Rancher is in fact a VPET game with a battling element. You are a Monster Rancher and you ranch monsters. From the beginning, you get the option of picking from a dinosaur, a wolf, and a minion. I picked the dinosaur named Aguchu because I want to make all the Monster Rancher fan angry. The monster's health and growth is managed through a weekly/monthly system. At the beginning of the month, you decide what to feed your monster, and then week by week, you manage what your monster is going to do. Depending on what your monster is good at, you can send it to work for money and experience, let it rest if it gets tired, or pay for training. While the bulk of the game isn't too involved, the multiple things and statuses you have to pay attention to kind of makes it interesting. For example, certain jobs give out experience for certain attributes. So I was trying to balance everything out, but Aguchu isn't good at all of the tasks. So I may risk not earning money that week in order to gain experience and whatnot.
Yeah, he is not lying about none of this. He's really not, because I took the liberty of skipping all those other titles, Monster Rancher 1, 2, and 3, and played 4. And when playing 4, like he said, you had got to use the DVDs and the all the CDs that you would own in order to create your monster in any way, shape, or form that you wanted. But the problem was you had to raise the monster, and it depends on whether or not that monster was willing to do the work, was willing to train that day, was willing to eat the right food, was willing to slack off. And then you, as like he was saying, the monster's master or the monster's trainer, you had to discipline it and tell it what to do and what not to do. And then, almost like Digimon, it came a time when that monster was getting ready to run its life out. I was like, yo, it's a really difficult game to play, especially in the whole battle aspect. The battle aspect is very wild. Sometimes you get to have a range to attack. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you miss that attack. Sometimes you don't. And if you get hit and lose, there is no second. There's no second chance. There is no retry. After that, you're done. You done lost the doggone contest, the tournament, what have you. You done lost the battle.
The battle system isn't too involved either. It's a balance between the monster's will, accuracy, and attack type.
Right.
Will takes a while to build up and is represented by a progress bar. Attacks require will, and the more will you have, the greater the accuracy of your attacks. I would do well starting out most tournaments, but for the most part, I never won them. So what do I know? Now, Aguchu is no different than any other V-Pet I've owned. It died.
Hot take, taking care of V-Pets is a lot harder than taking care of actual pets.
Yep.
So I decided to put some CDs in to get some sweet monsters. Katy Perry's Teenage Dream gave me a hare. Neat. Real Big Fish's Cheer Up gave me a plant. I named him Bop. Also, the Digimon the movie soundtrack gave me a purple dinosaur who I named Rancher Mo because I accidentally deleted the N. I combined a few of them and got this rainbow worm. That's pretty gross. But I ended up sticking with this golem named Slap via Of Montreal's Hissing Fauna Are You the Destroyer. He's still alive and kicked some butt. Monster Rancher for PS1 is a V-Pet simulator. A pretty good one too. The game's task system is quick, work, training, and battling is all super efficient, so if you ever have to spend time doing some of the more tedious things in the game, like resting and working, it's not too much time before you can focus on something you want to do. If you're looking for a substitute for Pokemon, it's not here. But if you like Tamagotchi and Digimon, Monster Rancher is a neat little thing you may want to look into. I know 2 is more well-liked, and maybe one day I'll do a more in-depth video on 2, 3, and 4, but the first game is pretty fun. There was also a Monster Rancher card game, which I thought was the same as the Monster Rancher Battle card game series, but upon further inspection, it looks quite different. Now, I didn't have enough cards to play the game, but I did play the Battle Card Episode 2 game. Episode 1 was released for the Game Boy Color beforehand. Monster Rancher Card Battle is the most simplistic version of a card game ever. It's essentially a 3v3 battle between the player's chosen monster cards. During your turn, you can choose to either build up Guts, which is your mana, attack the other players, or dodge when they attack. It's really simple, and I'm sure it gets more complicated the more you play, but it was a fun little time waster, I guess. Moving on. And finally, there's the Monster Rancher anime. Monster Rancher.
I love that song,
the
dude.
Anime. I'll call it MR for short. The Mr. Anime stars Genki, not to be confused with horror movie villain Genki. Genki is a young kid who is pretty good at the Monster Rancher video game. And then he's sent into Monster Rancher World, where he and a group of monsters follow a stone, guiding them to a special phoenix, who can save the monster world from the evil Moo. It's all laid out in the theme song, which is neither a bop nor a slap. In fact, it's quite bad.
I love it. To a world where monsters rule.
I'm sorry, Monster Rancher fan. The evil Moo. That's a pretty good name. Also, there's the Monster Rancher rap in between commercials, which is definitely
I love that
a direct
too.
reference
I
to
don't
the
care.
Funky rap.
Unlock your disc. 400 monsters, all shapes and sizes. You can't predict them. They're full of surprises.
Prizes.
The song
How
even
many of you
brags about
unlocked
having
this?
over 400 monsters, which is completely an attempt to discredit Pokemon's 150. So Genki is a weird, refreshing character after watching all of Digimon. This kid is just so dumb, but in a fun, lovable way. He has roller skates and is always fighting alongside the monsters. His goal is just to save the monster world. He doesn't even want to go home. In fact, there's an episode where he has a dream he's home and he's genuinely upset. I watched about 15 episodes and skipped to the last one. Spoiler alert, Genki never gets home and he doesn't care. I love it. Alongside Genki is Holly and her guardian Suezo, a Suezo. Holly's village was destroyed by Moo, so she must find the Phoenix to avenge her dead father. But spoiler alert, Moo is actually her dad. So that's fun. And then there's the rest of the cast. Tiger, a wolf. I really hate that name. He's the serious, angry member of
I love Tiger. Tiger was
And
my
then there's
favorite
Gollum,
character.
A Golem, who doesn't like to fight but totally will. Mochi, a baby monster hatched by Genki, who is anime trope 1-A, always hungry. And finally, Hare, a hare, who is a bit of a con artist in the brains of the group.
Please, Tiger. I know that you're not very happy about losing, so I thought I'd try and make it up to you somehow.
Hare is played by the same voice actor who does Double D, and weirdly enough, there are quite a few Ed, and Eddie alumni in the English dub of Monster Rancher.
Nice.
It's a Canadian dub, so it makes sense. Canada has rules about using Canadian voice actors in animation projects, and Ed, and Eddie was a Canadian production, so of course, nearly all their voice actors would overlap somewhere, including in the final main character, Pixie. Pixie was a bad person, but now she's not, so that's fun. In a lot of my reviews, I usually spend a lot of time talking about the characters. If you don't understand the characters, the plot really doesn't matter because you're not invested in how the characters are interacting with the plot. Monster Rancher's plot is simple. Moo wants to take over the world by making other monsters evil, and the crew has to locate a strong monster to stop him. However, it's quite enjoyable because the characters' personality and motivation are apparent throughout everything I've seen. The characters disagree with each other, their interactions are funny, it's just fun and enjoyable.
Yes.
One hyperactive kid. I'm James. He doesn't just play video games, he lives in one.
However, Monster Rancher quickly gained and quickly dropped any popularity it had because of its issues airing in the United States.
Unfortunately.
Being a Canadian production, Monster Rancher had to be licensed to American networks for airing. The first season aired on Fox Kids in the US, but they never bought the rights for the second season. So they ran the
Assholes.
first 20-something episodes over and over again. Until
Yes, they
the
did.
ratings dropped. By the time Kids WB aired season 2, no one was really interested. And the season only aired all the way through once.
That's
Season
crazy.
3 was a continuation which went on past the Moose storyline, but it never aired in the United States until Hulu picked it up a few years ago. All three seasons would later be released on DVD. When a network airs their own property, there's an incentive for it to succeed. Merchandise, investments, etc. But when it's a licensed property, all that really matters are the ratings, and unfortunately, Monster Rancher was treated more as a time slot filler than anything else, especially by Fox Kids. After Monster Rancher 4, the series saw new entries on and off again until 2008's Monster Rancher DS, released in North America in 2010. The game saw moderate success, but highly negative reviews. Despite rumors over the years of a series return, nothing has come out of it, but I think that's okay. Monster Rancher is really based on a gimmick. You can place any CD in the PlayStation to create a new monster, and that's pretty cool, and the gameplay of the original is fun and all, but it's not really any different than any other virtual pet simulator. And I don't think the character design, Monster Rancher lore, or story is enough to keep an audience, especially when Tamagotchi and Digimon are still putting out games.
I enjoyed Monster Rancher, but outside of a potential video or videos discussing 2, 3, and 4, I'm not really clamoring to play more. It's probably a relic which should be left in the past. I don't really see it making a comeback, but that's okay, Not every franchise needs to be omnipresent, lasting forever. Some things can just exist in their own time. Also, I don't need to be seeing Suezo every year on a new video game release. Ugh. Special thanks to Audible for sponsoring this video. Go to audible.com/Billiam or text Billiam to 500-500 to get a free audiobook, 2 free Audible originals, and
Okay, I think that was all, because he's talking about Audible and everything for the next couple of minutes in this video. But other than that, he's right. Cause right now, Yokai Watch is taking the place of what Monster Rancher could have done at this point in time, and then Digimon is still making an appearance. So I think it's okay for Monster Rancher to be acknowledged, but it doesn't need to come back. However, Metabots needs to come back. I don't care what anybody says. Metabots was the shit. That needs to come back. I miss Metabots. If Beyblade can come back, so can Metabots. Everybody loved Metabots. Everybody. Stop playing with us, America. Get in cahoots with Japan fully. All right? Get the rights. Stop being a bunch of idiots, a bunch of lame-os. Japan's trying to move on. Let's do that. But other than that, now you guys watching this video, go support Billiam for making this video and talking about Monster Rancher as a whole, especially the series. Like, everything he said was the truth except for the theme song. I freaking love the theme song. I freaking love the rap songs that was coming in between episodes and at the end of the episode of the actual series. It sucks that we to know that America only let one season be replayed over and over and over. When there were a couple of seasons after season 1. God, we're so dumb. But other than that, I'm gonna get up out. Thank you all so much for watching this. Go support the original creator, and show your support down below about this whole series. And if you don't even know it, would you be willing to watch it or whatnot? It's fine if you don't want to, but if you be willing to, that would be cool. This has been The Real Sakurai, and I'm gonna get up out of here. Peace.